those cats that I was ballin' with. Saying rap ain't finna get my ass a scholarship.
These people don't give a shit.
Who's giving them the business? The business.
All the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's got it. Goes Davis. Oh my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. He's going to win the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game. 50 to the 40. Herbert Whitfield to the 30 to the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU.
What is up? Week 8 college football week 9 college football extravaganza. We fucked up and missed a week.
Yeah, we missed a week big time. It's vacationing, going to see college football. We've been all over the place except on the pod.
Or you were on assignment. We'll say you were on assignment.
Yeah, I did. I went to a couple good ones. Yeah, I was gone for a couple games. Most recently, Marshall, Georgia State. If there's a lot of people who knows the Who Cares button, that's probably the time they request it. Not for I, though, of course, as you can see. Got a fire-ass hat. That was nice. But, yeah, that was sick. Getting to go back to Huntington, getting to experience the hometown feel again. Got to see some people we knew. Thursday night game in Huntington. I mean, the vibes aren't, phenomenal, but it was still, it was good football. Won by 15, covered. Marshall's that team when you want that cover. They play good ball. They play good ball.
And then you were at LSU the week before. LSU Ole Miss.
LSU Ole Miss. All right. So now the energy's died down a little bit from this. If we did this on last Wednesday, I would have been going literally crazy, with my energy. I was to describe that game, the feeling after was depression, because you're at such a peak moment of life right there. The energy, the atmosphere, what you just experienced. One of the best things I've ever experienced. I went with my buddy Trevor, and he was a major LSU fan. On the way to the game, I told him how my favorite sports experience was Mississippi State baseball. The dude postseason game, super regional game 3 versus Notre Dame. That was the year they won the World Series.
Mississippi State's got 23 out of the 25 top sold out games for college baseball.
Correct.
I just learned that yesterday.
They had the biggest stadium.
Yeah.
But that was their biggest one.
Casey in the chat says, Roll Tide beat Mizzou. You guys cost me about $1,000 on my parlays this week. I'm not going to lie. Last week. Didn't cost me $1,000, but I would have won $1,000 if Alabama would have beat Tennessee.
Just that game alone?
Just I hit 6 out of 7 on the parlay.
Wow.
I hit 4 out of 5 on the other parlay.
Wow.
Alabama cost me. You're on my shit list.
Were they favored? Yeah.
They were favored.
Yeah.
And they were winning, but they just couldn't put it away.
Anyways, but yeah, so that game was crazy. So Mississippi State had always been my number one sports experience, and I told my buddy that going into the game. He's like, yeah, I can see that. And we're leaving Death Valley after that game, and I was like, this is it. This is one. It's hands down one. I'm not a fan of Mississippi State, LSU, Ole Miss, none of them. I'm a fan of good moments. I'm a fan of sports. I'm a fan of good football.
Last minute victory, too. Last second victory.
Well, no, it was an overtime victory.
Yeah.
And so that
that's
game,
right. It was overtime.
Yeah,
huh?
that game. The energy was crazy because it was a night game. My first night game in Death Valley. You're playing a top 10 team in Ole Miss at the time, who beat you last year, and that was their big win of the year. It's been hot. This has been a building rivalry with these two. It's just been growing and growing, especially with Lane Kiffin, with how active he is. And this game, it was fun just getting to experience LSU and Baton Rouge. That was my first time. And this game, we saw a defense from LSU that we've never seen before. Whit Weeks, oh my gosh, dude. That guy, he's a stud. Zai, he played a great game. Aaron Anderson, he's an absolute stud. Kyron Lacey, he's a dog. And then, Nuss, my opinion, didn't play the best game. He won an SEC Offensive Player of the Week for that game. But really, I feel if you just saw the last 5 minutes to the end of that game, that was why he won SEC Player of the Week. Yeah. He really didn't play a good game. Threw 2 picks. The play calling was honestly crap. Joe Sloan, that was crap play calling. Especially on that last drive of regulation, they're driving down. It's 3rd and 10. You're on Ole Miss's 30. 40 seconds left. They run the ball. Use their last timeout. So it's 4th and 7. And then Nuss throws that dot to the end zone. and to Aaron Anderson. And that was like, okay, that was sick, but really shit play calling at the end of the day. Overall, though, you know, you knew LSU was in the game, and their defense was giving them moments to be able to play.
Yeah.
And so seeing that, it was like, you can win this game. And when they got those few stops, like there was some long field goals in this game. I mean, overall, incredible game.
Nighttime Death Valley.
Yeah.
Top moment.
You know, and it was like seeing everyone rapping Boozy all in sync at one point. You're seeing Colin Baton Rouge being played with this was the new lights, you know, in the stadium. Being at so you got 102,000, the new lights. The songs are just on par. It's a great game. Top 10 match. It's just the stars align.
Suck that tiger dick,
yeah,
bitch.
everything. The stars align. You had Shaq there. You had Livy Dunn there. You had Paul.
Did you riz up Livy Dunn?
No, I met her sister though.
I
met her sister.
You rizzed up Livy Dunn's sister? Oh no!
I met her sister. That was wild. I met her sister. And I was like, of all people, because we were sitting at Fred's, which is like their notorious bar in Baton Rouge, and she came and sat down like right next to me and my buddy. Like it was like 1:30 in the morning, and I was just like, "Oh, hello. I didn't know who you are."
Is she hot also?
I'm happily taken, so I don't really like it.
Oh, you can say she's hot or no. Okay, that's fine. All right.
No. I'm happy.
Doesn't want to incriminate himself on here.
No, absolutely not. Well, that'd be horrible. But so you know, it gets to that point in the game. They make one. The defense comes out firing in overtime when Ole Miss gets the ball. Like as soon as Ole Miss and they announce Ole Miss is getting the ball first, it's like this is it.
Yeah.
Like you knew that's happening, especially with that momentum. And the defense comes out. The flags happen. Kicker hits that bomb of like a 49-yard field goal or like a 50. It was like a 50 plus. And then you know as soon as they come out, only down 3, they're taking a shot. And then Kyron Lacey, he wanted that guy that was on him, went after him, head topped him. Place went crazy. Rushed the field. We rushed the field. I ended up on the field at Death Valley for my first ever night game.
I saw that. Do you feel like if the game was not in Death Valley, do you feel like if it was at Ole Miss would have won?
Absolutely. That game was about who had home field. It was just like last year and the year before. And the home team won. It was a close game. It was a good game. That's what it's a rivalry in my opinion. It's a good one too.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean overall, and a phenomenal experience. We got there. I got off work at 3 a.m., picked up my buddy Trevor. We drove straight there, went straight to Fred's to get pre-banded. There was like 5,000 people in line, blocks down the road to get pre-banded because the cover after a game is $100. So we got pre-banded, and yeah. And then went to a couple of different places throughout there. Saw the tailgating. That was cool. Saw Mike the next day. I got a full experience out of it. It was fun. The weather was perfect.
So are you like an LSU fan? Are you like closer to being an LSU fan? Did you earn some points?
I've always said like I admire LSU. I've always admired LSU.
He's got Florida, Marshall, Ohio State, LSU, and you got a North Dakota Bison hat on now.
It's a Marshall hat. What the hell?
Oh, is that a Marshall hat?
It's a Marshall hat.
It looked like a.
This was the logo of the plane crash. Man.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, I see Marshall now, but it did kind of look like the North Dakota Bison up top for a second.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know what you're feeling.
They did win this. They beat the Jackrabbits this past week.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did. But yeah, no. I mean, overall, LSU, one of the like once in a lifetime experience like that. I feel sad because like I know next time I go, 99% chance that won't happen again. Like,
no, I mean
it's crazy.
I mean, we'll see. Nighttime in Death Valley, you never know. But anyway, so. On to week 8, last week recap. You were at this game. Marshall takes care of Georgia State. You said you saw some snow. You saw some snow up in West Virginia. That's pretty cool.
Went up to Snowshoe after the game. Saw snow from the day prior. That was crazy. I haven't seen snow since I was 4, like on the ground. Like I saw like that one time it happened in Florida like 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Shout out Trevor in the chat. He was at the game with me. 10 out of 10 experience. I know, like, for him, like, that, I couldn't even, like, if I saw that in my fan experience, like, of who I'm a diehard fan for, I came in and, like, it would be ineffable to put that into words. Like, you just couldn't do it. So, like, I already struggle putting this into words because of how great of experience I had. I can't imagine for Trevor with how much.
Being an actual LSU fan?
How much he puts into it, how much, like, he keeps up with reporters and beat writers on it.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what his.
We got a really funny comedian. He's gonna come on. I'm thinking we're gonna save him for the last week, the Texas A&M LSU game.
Yeah.
Logan Brown, trying to get him on the show. He's a big LSU guy, so he's been wanting to come on the podcast for a little bit. If you guys know, if you follow like people, if you're watching this and you follow people for LSU or your team, reach out to us. We'll try and reach out and get them on. We're definitely trying to have some guests and talk to these fan bases because we're kind of like a shit talk.
I got some drunk bar guests from the
Exactly.
bar who want to come on.
Exactly.
One's a Tennessee fan, one's an Auburn fan. Put them here and let them bash each other.
Exactly. That's what we want. We want this to be the shit talking podcast, like the Paul Feinbaum. We just let them go against each other. But anyway, on to week 8, some more. Let's see. Friday night, Oregon took care of business, 35-0 against Purdue. Oregon's rolling, dude. Number 1 in the nation this week. They're kicking some ass. BYU, I don't think they covered against Oklahoma State last week, but they still won. And they won last minute. Exciting game to watch with BYU. I'm getting soaked this year. I'm getting so wet looking at the Mormons. It's absolutely insane. These young Cougars are killing it. Florida State, Friday night. I was just about to do my comedy show, and I was like, I got to watch this. Duke has not beaten Florida State ever.
0-22 going into the game.
0-22. And so this sucks that Joey's not on here to talk about this because
I don't know if we're going to see Joey again, man. I told you this like after the Boston College loss. I was like, is Joey going to do the pod at all?
Well, it was just too late. But I mean, like the setup, I told him it's all Gator. He's going to have to bring something FSU so we can put it up because like he's going to get overwhelmed with the orange and blue.
Before you keep going down this list, I'm just going to break down where we are in college football right now. So as you said, Oregon, they are number 1 for the first time since 2012, which is crazy because we know Dan Lanning and these guys, they've had some good wins. They're leading the Big Ten in the first year in the conference. Huge. Good for them. Number 11, BYU, 7-0, leading the Big 12, who they were independent, and now they're in the Big 12.
Right.
Doing things they haven't done since 1984. Number 13, Indiana, is ranked higher than number 15, Alabama. Yeah, this isn't basketball. We are talking football. Indiana is ranked higher than Alabama. The Hoosiers are 7-0 for the first time since 1967.
It's insane. And they're not only 7-0, they're whooping up on some folks. They whooped Nebraska
this
past
Ohio
week.
State game is going to be crazy.
Ohio State, Indiana is going to be insane.
And then you go back to the Big 12. You have Iowa State, number 10, right to the top 10 for just the 8th week ever. And the Cyclones are 7-0 for the first time since 1938. 1938, you're seeing them be 7-0. Number 19, Pitt, 6-0 for the first time since 1982. And then this is really the one that I love the most. Army and Navy, 23-24, are ranked at the same time for the first season since 1945. What was that? That was World War II.
Yeah, so we could be heading into World War III. I'm just saying.
We are on a collision course for a potentially CFP implicated matchup when an Army-Navy hits Heisman Week. And then number 25, Vanderbilt, is ranked for the first time since 2013. 2 weeks ago, Vandy earned the first win over an AP top 5 opponent. They were 0-60. Of course, everyone knows that as Alabama. And then also, this one's probably the most shell-shocking one. Like we said this week 1, you could probably believe it a little bit, but it's kind of weird to say it. The SEC has 0 undefeated teams remaining halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. The Heisman front runner is on a group of 5 team and is putting up numbers better than 1988 Barry Sanders. Tennessee beat Alabama Saturday for just the second time in the last 19 years. Duke just beat Florida State for the first time ever in snapping that 22-game losing streak. And the AP number 1 team has lost in 2 of the last 3 weeks. We are at an all-time high for just craziness. And, of course, it's in the first year of the 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
So, this is what we're seeing right now, and I love it because this is what college football needs. You throw in this crazy stipulation of a 12-team playoff, and what you get some of the most insane upsets and insane matchups and insane rankings that we've ever seen because these schools know, like, we can play.
Yeah.
Like, we can play, we can compete. We don't have to be perfect, but we can still go in and compete and play and win. Right now, we're at an all-time high, and I'm loving it.
I love it, too. And I think NIL has leveled the playing field. I think everyone who was bitching and moaning about what NIL would do. I think we're seeing it now. You're seeing a lot more parity in college football than you have ever. Nick Saban leaves Alabama. It's all coming together to make this perfect storm.
Before Saban, Tennessee over the last 10 years was really winning the versus matchup with Bama. Like the third Saturday in October was really being ran by Tennessee. And
before Saban was there? Are you talking about before
Saban was there
at Alabama?
And then when Saban got there, they didn't beat him until three years ago, right? 2 years ago.
Yeah, in
2022.
Yeah.
And then that was the first time they had beat him since Saban was there. And then Saban leaves, and now they've lost to him twice in the last 19 years. Last 2 or 3. And then you have, also when Saban leaves, you have guys on a 4th and 1 doing a fadeaway jump shot.
You can definitely see the difference in whatever you want to call it, discipline. I'll say discipline. I don't know. You guys in the chat can tell me if you're Alabama fans what you think. But I can tell.
I do want to hear if Casey's still around. I do want to get his opinion on it for sure, because he's my stand-in Bama guy.
Yeah.
I know life's been weird for him recently with the Bama games, and they've not been fun. So I can't even imagine what he really feels about that.
Oh, Barfo in the chat. Between Vandy and Tennessee beating Alabama, there was anarchy here. So we got some Tennessee folks having a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Having a great time, smoking cigars, tearing down goalposts, throwing them in bodies of water. That's what's going on up in Tennessee. Oh, man. But that's the state of college football right now. That's a good clip. We might clip that up, the state of college football right now, and then put that on a short clip this week. But we're not forgetting about FSU. I'm not forgetting about FSU. Turnovers. Brock Glenn only throws for 110 yards.
He gets his name.
He gets replaced. They were chanting. They said, Brock Glenn, come in. DJU, where you at? Where you at, buddy?
I have a broken pinky on my non-throwing hand. That's why
I saw a meme. It was saying DJU is sitting out the rest of the season to get his CDL. So, yeah, it's commercial drivers it's. The memes have been really good. So, FSU, man. We'll talk more about them later, but, buddy, that Charleston Southern game looks like the only potential win left on the schedule.
You can say that about them, and then you can say that about Auburn.
Yeah. I mean, Auburn's got a close one this week. I think they play Mississippi State. Well,
they have Kentucky.
They have Kentucky, that's right. I think that might be close, but we'll talk about that, too, because I guess we can go ahead and talk. I like to do back-to-back cover FSU and Florida. And so Florida beats Kentucky after losing to Tennessee. After losing to Tennessee in overtime, Graham Mertz goes down for the season.
Can we go back to the 6:30 slot 2 Saturdays ago? You had LSU, Ole Miss, Ohio State, Oregon, and then Florida, Tennessee, and then you had the 6:30 slot was way too oversaturated. I was trying to keep up with everything that was going on. Hold on. Also, forget about this. Illinois and Purdue put up 99 points. The hell is that?
2 weeks ago? Talking about 2 weeks ago? Yeah.
99 points. Don't know where that came from.
Yeah. I mean, Illinois, we're going to talk about Illinois this week, too. Pretty solid team. Solid football
teams
team.
are playing ball. Iowa State, Indiana, Illinois, they're playing ball.
Yeah. But, anywho, Florida, DJU, looking like a more complete team to me. I don't know about you, but dude, this whole transition between Graham Mertz to DJ does make freshman mistakes. He does throw picks. He does make bad decisions. He made one against Kentucky, almost cost him a pick 6, but he hits those 40-yard dimes on a dot.
Yeah.
Throws some piss missiles, and he's dynamic. He can run. I think it opens up the Florida offense. And then the Florida defense has stepped up in the last 2 weeks, held Tennessee to, 17 or 20 points in overtime, and then held Kentucky pretty good, too. So, Florida showing some signs of life at least. They're picking up some games. And then those losses, we lost to, Tennessee, 6-1.
Yep.
You lost to Texas A&M, 6-1, with an early loss against Notre Dame. And then lost to Miami, undefeated.
Yep.
I mean, not bad losses. What?
I thought this game, Jordan Ball, 5 touchdowns. I know like they weren't like great rushing yards, but 5 touchdowns is 5 touchdowns for a freshman.
Yeah, he set the record. He set the record, tied with who did he tie with? He played against. It was against Kentucky as well. Trey Burton. Trey Burton, 5 touchdowns against Kentucky back in like 2014 or something like that. So yeah, Ball is a beast. I like the dude from Pensacola who was a JUCO transfer. He's killing it. God, I'm blanking on his name right. I'm blanking on his name. He's like number 24.
What's his name?
He's pretty good too. Let me look him up. He's good.
He's from Pensacola?
He's from Pensacola. They say he's out of Pensacola.
Where do you play high school ball?
Not sure. Let's see.
This is what I need to know. I was like, I called way too many high school games.
Yeah, you should know him. Let's see. Running back. It's Jacoby Jackson.
Where do you go to high school?
Out of Pensacola. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't say that on ESPN here.
Figure it out. Jacoby Jackson.
Yeah, you figure it out. But just going forward, Florida looking good. I mean, you got to play Ole Miss. Not unbeatable. They could snag up a win there. LSU.
Oh, he went to Catholic. That's why. I didn't call any Catholic games. That's why I don't know.
That makes sense. Pensacola Catholic.
He was a stud. I remember this kid now. He was a stud. Yeah, he was pretty good.
He's good, and he came over transfer portal. So I mean, I like him. I think he's a more physical runner, just barely. Jaden Ball is absolutely physical. I'm not saying he's not physical, but I think Florida can snag a 6th win in the season. Somewhere along the way, you got FSU, and you have to snag another win somewhere. Yep. I think it's possible. And then you make a bowl game, and then what's Billy Napier's future? I think it's already decided. I think he's gone after this year. Do you think he's gone, or do you think if he snags that 6th win in the season where you got the toughest schedule, is he still staying around?
I don't want him to be. I don't think he should be.
I don't think he should be either. But do you think it's already decided, or do you think he's chilling?
If it was already decided, I feel like he would have got booted. He would have been booted already. They just don't want to suffer that buyout right now.
Yeah, that could be true.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, FSU, I feel like that's a guaranteed win at this point, which is fun to say as a fan because you want them to you want them to win that game because usually this is when the tides turn every year is whenever the team that's on the losing streak in those series wins. That's when the program's also turning around. That's what happened with Florida whenever they beat them for the first time in like 2019. And then Trask came in the next year, blew them up. And then it turned into FSU beating them a few years later, and then they blew up. So we should be on trend. But where do you see a 6th win? Because this is we're getting to the part why it's the hardest schedule.
Right.
Georgia?
No.
Texas?
No.
LSU?
I think you got LSU in the swamp. I think they can get LSU.
I'm telling you, if LSU has won out to this point, they'll be so dialed in they won't be touched. I
think the closest the game I could see getting the win is Ole Miss, but LSU and Ole Miss, they're right there. They're neck and neck. You know.
Do you have any thoughts on Texas? Are you fluttering at Texas even the slightest after this past weekend?
No.
You're not.
No, I think they come back.
Do you think Texas is still real?
Yeah, no, I think they're still real.
I don't know, man. I personally think you're on fraud watch when it comes to Texas because look at what happened. You got your shit rocked in Austin by Georgia. You were having to throw stuff on the field to get a PI overturned, which that's a crazy call. Your 2 prominent wins going into that night were Michigan and Oklahoma, who both picked up their 3rd losses on the same Saturday you picked up your 1st. So right now, you don't really have a prominent win because all your best wins are 3 losses or worse. So right now, Texas is on fraud watch until they can get a good win against a team that's a 1 or 2 loss team. And I think Florida would be turning into a good win for them.
I think you're retarded. Texas is still
no,
Texas,
I don't think
you're
I am.
Fucking retarded. Texas is still like a top 10 team. They're not gonna lose to Florida.
I'm not saying they're going to lose 4. I'm just saying keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye. I mean, maybe, but like, I think Georgia is like this. Georgia struggles sometimes against teams they shouldn't struggle against, right? Like South Carolina, we've seen it happen so many times, and then they will come out and beat the shit out of Alabama in the SEC champion or in the national championship or something like that. Georgia had its iron sights on this Texas game. No one believed in him. Kirby fed him the spoon fed him all this garbage that the media was spitting out, like Texas is going to whoop Georgia. And I think that fired him up. I think Georgia played a near about perfect game, and Texas didn't. I think you do it another week. I think it could be different. Maybe Georgia just matches up with Texas way better than they match up with like Alabama or someone.
I think Florida won't play in that game. They're not going to win the game. But I'm saying, like, I don't think Texas is all that right now. That's what I'm getting at. I think Sark got outcoached. I know Sark would outcoach Napier by a mile.
Yeah.
He would outcoach him by a mile. And when you look at the coaches that are remaining, they are some of the highest paid coaches in college football for that Napier's got to face. He's got to go face Kirby Smart, Sark, Brian Kelly, Lane Kiffin, and then Mike Norvell. And funny enough, I think the one that's being paid the most is the one with the crappiest record, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh.
Wrong?
That's gotta burn.
Not wrong.
It's gotta burn the Seminole fans, dude.
$60 million buyout. Go ahead. How about it?
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I could see them picking up win. I mean, it's college football. You can have an upset here or there. I think they could do it. And you got both of them in the swamp. So you got to hone in on that LSU or Ole Miss game if you want it. I think if they don't get a 6-win, Napier's definitely gone. I think he's definitely gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because did we make bowl last year?
No.
Exactly.
No, did not. No.
That's the big thing. You can't go back-to-back years without bowl in Gainesville. Can't do it.
No.
That's like that. That's bad. Yeah, he'll be gone.
All right. Well, speaking of Georgia, Texas, I mean, this game, Georgia was dominating Texas almost from beginning to end. Like you said, that PI call that they overturned. So your issue with it is that they overturned the penalty. Is that your issue with it, or do you think it was actually a good call and they should have kept the call?
I think when it comes to that game, I think both sides have a right to be mad. Like, yeah, you can be mad it's a bad call, but you don't overturn flags like that, especially that far after the play. That's like I've never seen that before. Like a flag be that when it's not a rule that you can overturn or challenge plays.
Right.
That's another thing. So for Kirby Smart to be pissed about that in the conference, heck yeah, that's a bad move.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I've seen it like one time. It was weird. I saw it one time. It was like Florida, Southern Miss in like 2006, and they overturned like a pass interference, like a penalty call, and I was like, I didn't think you could do that. So and he even said after further discussion, it's like, you can do that? If you can do that, then let's start doing that,
I think that should be a thing, but to do it like that when it's not, I thought that was crazy.
It is crazy.
I thought it was crazy how the student section acted. I thought it was crazy that the refs changed the play call. Yeah, I mean, I think Georgia just got screwed over there.
I think they did too, and Kirby was right to, talk shit. But, at the same time, do you think it was the right call, though?
I honestly don't remember the play because I'm so infatuated with what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
That's another thing. No one really remembers the PI call that much, like the actual play itself of should that be a PI or not a PI, because of how everything acted. I really don't remember the actual play itself because of what happened after it with the fans and then the overturning the call. Like, I don't remember it right at the moment.
Yeah, I think the ultimate result was the right call to me. I don't think I don't think there should have been a penalty. I guess is what
And if I'm remembering it correctly, I don't think there was a lot of contact to without the PI.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard for me to remember whenever all that happens after. So.
Right. Yeah. And then so students and like fans threw bottles and trash onto the field. So they're going to Vanderbilt this week. And you sent this in the chat earlier. I was like, whoa. Vanderbilt has put up a net in the visitor section to prevent that from happening. And they're going to keep it up for the Tennessee game. They said, and we're going to keep it up for the Tennessee game. So that's fucking hilarious.
I think it's funny they're keeping it up for the Tennessee game, of all things, because it's like, all right,
Yep.
I get why. But, yeah, no, this is I think this is really funny what they're doing.
It is hilarious. All right. Speaking of Tennessee, Tennessee takes down Alabama. I mean, what are you going to do? Alabama, you single-handedly cost me my parlay, both parlays. This is unexplainable.
That's screwed. Like, yeah, you got screwed over there, man.
And they cost me another parlay the week before, or not week before, 2 weeks before with Vandy. I am probably the reason Alabama's losing, actually. I'm not going to bet on Alabama anymore. I won't do it.
I mean, hell, I accidentally slipped a parlay with Vanderbilt winning that game for the money line, and it hit, and I was like, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen.
That's not supposed to happen. All right, so Tennessee, I did not see them beating Alabama this week, last week, whatever, because of them going into overtime with Florida. And they just didn't look that good. Florida's defense was shutting them down. I was like, Alabama's going to shut them down. They're going to be able to score. Jalen Milroe throws a pick in the end zone. He makes these dumb mistakes. The penalty there at the end of the game to put them in that 4th and long, man, Nick Saban would bench him the next game, I think. It's fucking wild, dude, to see what's going on with Alabama now. Can they turn it around?
Yeah, definitely. Like, DeBoer's still a good coach. You still have a great program. You still have a lot going. Like, you still have a lot that you can make happen. But yeah, I think when it comes to Bama, you're just focusing on LSU right now. Like, this is a game that if you win, it saves you a lot this season. Like, you're going to be doing really good. But LSU, especially if they win this weekend, they're going to be a hard team to beat. That's some of the hottest that we've seen out of Baton Rouge since Joe Burrow.
Nice.
And I'm talking like even 2 years ago. Like, this is really good. Like, I think this is one of their better seasons since Burrow for sure. If they come out and win the A&M game, I think they'll win the Alabama game if they do. But right now, I think this game with A&M, it comes down to who's playing at home, and it's A&M. So I think Kyle Field is going to be bumping.
You're so high on LSU.
Absolutely. I mean, how can I not be after they give me that experience? I want them to ride. I want them to do good.
I want them to lose so bad now. I want them to lose so bad. So this is the net that Vandy put up in the stadium. Vandy, man, the largest visitor section. Pretty much, you'd have to net the whole stadium typically. With Vanderbilt games, you ever see a Vanderbilt game like on a regular year in the past?
Yeah.
Usually they get outnumbered with visiting fans. It's one of those things. They're in Nashville. A lot of people love to have go and have a good time.
What if they win this weekend?
Yeah, I know.
And then are you hopping on the train with me on the Texas fraud train?
Yeah, but I'm also high on Vandy. Like I'm also.
Oh my, Pavia, man, ride that bus.
Yeah, I'm high on Vandy. And I took them in my pick'em this week to at least cover the 18 and a half, 17 and a half points, whatever it's at now. Thought it was at 17, now it's moving to 18. So, maybe that might be a lock. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm high on them. I don't know.
We're about to learn how real they are this weekend.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Texas, that's a tough spot, man, coming off that type of a loss and you're questioning your team and everyone's questioning you. And you're going to go into a place like Vanderbilt, not traditionally like intimidating, but now it is.
As Texas, you are getting ready to hop on a lily pad that's either going to sink or float.
Yeah, and you're about to do the same thing Alabama did. You're coming off a tough win or loss, going to Vanderbilt, and you're like, it's Vanderbilt. At least they know that Vandy's real, and Pavia is real.
They are aware.
They are aware. That's fine. Okay, LSU beats Arkansas this past week, so good job, LSU.
Yeah, they dialed in that game. I mean, that was a good one for them. I liked it.
Taylon Green for Arkansas threw for 240 yards in that game, though. So, but they couldn't put it together, get a whole lot of points. No, Arkansas. I mean, they surprised us with a win over Tennessee early on, but still, it's still Arkansas. It's still a Sam Pittman team. I'm not high on Arkansas either. LSU though, in the top 10. I mean, despite that early loss to USC, that doesn't look good. But also, at least it's an early loss, you know. And like you said, they're looking down the barrel at a schedule where they could win out up into the Texas A&M game. That game's going to be massive.
And even if they lose the Texas A&M game and win out, the USC loss was a non-conference loss.
Yeah.
So they still get that chance to get that play-in for in the SEC championship, which would most likely you don't know what the that's the thing. Breaking down the SEC right now is impossible because you have Georgia, Texas, and you have Texas A&M, Georgia, Texas, LSU. Luckily, A&M and Texas, that will be answered later on in the year because they play each other, which that will be awesome. Where's that game at again?
Which one? What the
A&M and Texas?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it's at actually.
Maybe that's why game day's not going to A&M this weekend. It's probably because they're going to A&M later this year for that.
It's at A&M.
Yeah, that's that. You know what? So because they had a chance to go to Indiana because you don't know how much longer Indiana's going to be good, and also you can't just keep going to SEC every week. They have to hit a Big Ten. That wasn't Ohio State or Oregon.
Yeah.
So they said Indiana will hit, and then A&M, if they're still playing ball, we can go there later on for the Texas game. So that makes more sense now that I think about it because they're going to go to LSU for Bama and LSU. Especially if LSU wins this weekend, they're going to go there.
Yeah, and I mean, you try and plan it out like that, like if you're ESPN, but then you're looking at this Texas A&M game, and that's got to be like that. I mean, no spoilers here, but that's a huge game. That's potentially game of the week. But
these slates are really starting to shape up and be like, damn, we got a good one this week. Man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, 2 weeks ago, we had a really good one, and the week before that, we had so many upsets. We're like, oh. We went into that week 7 slate, like, damn, we got a good one. Then we went into week 8, we're like, whoa, this is really good too.
Yeah.
Now we're here week 9, it's like, we're having fun.
It's this 12 team playoff. It's the new conferences because we're not seeing East and West in the SEC. You're seeing just a straight up schedule, and then you're ended up with a lot of teams who are undefeated that normally don't go undefeated, not just in the SEC. One team I'm talking about, Iowa State. You mentioned them earlier, the Cyclones. They're 7-0, and they nearly lost to UCF this week, man. That was a close this past week.
Let's talk about the Big 12, man. This is crazy stuff that we're seeing. And you know what? I'm going to say this right now. Too many people are not talking about this. Colorado's 5-2. Anyone got anything to say about that? They already have more wins than what they did last year. They're one win away from a bowl game. Does anyone care that Colorado's about to be at a bowl game? No one's giving Deion credit. Everyone was hating on him because he was failing so bad, and now he's succeeding. 5-2 at Colorado is definitely succeeding.
Yeah.
Especially making a bowl game at Colorado's succeeding at an extremely high level. And they're 5-2, really. And if Shador doesn't throw a red zone pick against Kansas State a couple weeks ago, they're really 6-1.
Yeah. And I think Colorado's shaping up to be a great team. I mean, I took them I'm not seeing them last week. But I might
Arizona blew them out 34-7.
Yeah, that spread was way too close. I think Arizona might have even been favored, or they might have been.
Yeah, because they're playing at home.
Yeah, no, I took Colorado all day, every day. I was like, Arizona's sucking right now. Arizona was good last year, and they have not been good this year. Been good this year.
Which breaks my heart because I wanted them to do good, but they did lose their coach.
Same.
They still have Noah, but he hasn't really played great ball.
Fafita's not playing good ball right now.
He is.
They even gave him $1. You see on ESPN when they gave him $1 for throwing the ball in the trash can?
Yeah.
That's messed. They're beating a dead horse. That is messed up.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. That was funny though, but
It was funny. That was fucked up though.
But, Colorado's got Cincy at home this week. They can get their 6th win. Then they go to Texas Tech.
I think they can do it.
And then they go to Utah that doesn't have Cam Rising anymore because he's hurt again.
Week 8, Justin. We're gonna be here all night. Week 8, motherfucker.
Hey,
Week 8. All right. So, Iowa State almost loses to UCF. Almost loses. Is that a hiccup, or are they a good team? Are they frauds? Are they a good team?
I think that was coaching.
You think?
I think it was coaching. Like Gus Malzahn's going to coach a good game. If he can find stuff in a team like that, he will. So I think he coached a good game there.
I think I agree with that. I think Gus Malzahn might find himself on the hot seat if he keeps losing these games, though.
Who are they going to find that's better than Gus?
I don't think Gus is that good.
He's not good, but it's good enough for UCF.
I think they could find a lot of people. It's Orlando. It's UCF. I think they could find some people.
I still don't think the coaching job at UCF is a Power 4 coaching job in a lot of coaches' minds.
Yeah.
I think it's still a Group of 5 coaching job.
I think so, but I think it'll get there one day. All right, moving on. Notre Dame beats Georgia Tech. Yeah, knew that was going to happen. Notre Dame cruising to a collision course with the military, with the United States military.
Dude, I mean, this game's great too. This is a good game we have coming up.
Yeah, Texas A&M doesn't necessarily stomp Mississippi State, but they did dominate them throughout the game. They said more cowbell. They took it. Indiana absolutely.
This was an impressive win.
Just slaughters Nebraska. Impressive. Indiana kind of. Any doubters from Indiana? At least if you're betting on games, they put you to shame on this week. They said you should have bet on us this week.
Yeah, Kurt Signetti, he's a winner. But yeah, I
yeah.
think this.
Tell UCF to get him.
Huh?
Tell UCF to get him.
They can't afford him. At this point, he's built in Indiana.
It's UCF. They're the largest college or second largest college in the country. They can afford whatever, probably.
But this week for Indiana is a little weird, yeah, because they don't have their quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's like we might see the train kind of slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's because they are. What are they? Are they? Yeah, they're favored 13.5 points versus Michigan. I'm not touching that. Not with a quarterback that hasn't started all year.
Washington.
Wait, they're playing Washington?
They're playing Washington. They're -6.5. Yeah, I mean, without your starting quarterback, that's tough. But I think they could do it still. I'm not big on Washington. Washington is a tough football team, though. Be careful. Be careful for them.
How did I find Michigan?
Michigan plays Michigan State this week.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
they were definitely favored 13.5 though. Last night they were.
Oh. That's moved a lot then.
Yeah, no, it dropped a whole touchdown. Because Trevor and I were talking about picks, and he sent me some picks that he wanted. He was looking at, and 13.5 Indiana. I was like, I don't know if I would do that for you, bro. Their quarterback's not there right now. So, yeah.
How long is he out for? Is he out?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like a panic thing, but they definitely are starting with Taven Jackson this week.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know because I saw him on quite a few pickups. I saw him on 3 pick'ems this week, at least in my friend group. And, I know some people have been riding Indiana on the parlay. So if you're riding Indiana on the parlays, fucking watch out.
The 6.5 does make me feel better. In 13.
It does.
13.5, I'm like, by 6.5, I'm like,
It does.
maybe.
All right, Kansas State at West Virginia. Kansas State whoops the shit out of the Mountaineers, 45-18.
What's their record?
We're gonna have to hit.
Who cares?
Who cares on that one? This game, Missouri comes back. Brady Cook goes out. Connor Cook, former Michigan State quarterback. Brady Cook goes out.
He was the quarterback of the
First
fake
quarter.
field goal
Yeah.
back against Notre Dame.
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah, it was good recall. Auburn was winning this game 17 to. Couldn't have been 17-3.
What was it?
It was Auburn, Missouri. So
Oh yeah,
Auburn was up 17.
17-3. It was 17-3.
It can't be unless they went for 2. That's right. They went for 2. So it was 17-3. Brady Cook comes back in the game. He went to the hospital Gets
He
checked
said,
out.
I only have 2.5 games left in Missouri.
Yeah.
I need to play in Missouri.
Y'all
Why?
remember when Brady Cook showed up at halftime and the Tigers won the Tiger Bowl? Do you? That's what he did. That's what he did.
That's one of my favorite ones you've told in a while.
Missouri comes back and wins 21-17 and saves their face because now we got a game against Alabama and it's an elimination game. It is an elimination game for the playoffs by all means.
I don't know, when you get your ass kicked by A&M that bad,
Yeah.
at a daytime game at Kyle Field, I think that was an elimination game enough.
Yeah, I agree. But numbers wise, that's just one loss. So yeah, all right.
Wait, so Kennesaw State won?
Kennesaw State won. I'm so glad I didn't bet on Liberty.
They just beat undefeated Liberty.
That's college football, and that's what Florida can do to Ole Miss and or LSU. Probably not, but we'll see. All right, we're gonna have to go rapid fire here. SMU destroys Stanford 40-10. SMU, very fucking good.
What's the record now?
I think they've only lost one game. Yeah, they're 6-1.
Oh no, Liberty came back.
3-0 in the AC.
Liberty did come back, but they blew it. They tied it up, and then Kennesaw State won on a walk-off field goal.
Dang. Well, you can't wait that long. Michigan loses to Illinois. The Fighting Illini with the sick vintage logos. We're bringing them back. 21-7.
Yeah, I loved it. That was that was their first one against Michigan, and I forget, it was like a long time. It was like when Kentucky beat Florida type vibe. But those helmets, each one, 2 hours each, hand painted.
2 hours each? That's so long.
By the same guy. And I just want to know, what contract did you sign? Was it 6 figures or less?
Did you like those? The leather?
I thought they were sick.
I thought it was sick too. I had some friends say it's ugly. I was like,
No, it's
they're
not.
old looking vintage.
You made modern day helmets look like they were leather with some incredible artwork.
Yeah.
Took a lot of work. So I felt bad for the guy. I was like, that guy put 2 hours of labor into each one of those helmets. Some of those helmets didn't even see the field today.
Yeah.
And he still paid them.
Yeah. Hopefully it get auctioned off a little bit or something. Yeah. I thought it was sick. I thought it was pretty sick.
I thought they were too. But I want to know how much that guy got paid.
Yeah, for sure. But Illinois, looking pretty fucking good, dude. I mean, number 22 in the nation. They're sitting on one loss. The only loss to Penn State. And now Penn State loss doesn't look bad at all. Penn State's number 3 in the nation.
Crazy, man. This week goes crazy. I'm looking through everything.
It goes crazy. It do.
Duke is 6-1.
Yeah. I mean,
what are we doing?
What are you duking? Let's see. Army destroys ECU. Should have bet them. I think they barely covered. Yeah, they definitely covered that. I think it was 20. I think the spread was 24.5 or something like that off the gate, and they covered that. So, oh wait, no, they did not. They did not cover that. Ha ha. Navy did cover against Charlotte though.
Yeah.
So Army,
by
Navy,
a mile.
Army, Navy, and you know what? They're both of them running the triple option still, but their quarterbacks are passing. Yeah, they're both still running triple option like football, but their quarterbacks are passing the ball very, very well.
That would suck though. If they made the college football playoffs and then you have played 18 weeks of football and then you have to go play the triple. You have to go play defense against the triple option that late in the year.
Yeah.
You're God bless, dude.
don't.
That must hurt.
I don't feel like it. South Carolina destroys Oklahoma 35-9 in Norman, Oklahoma. That's not a good look for the Sooners. What are y'all doing?
Bad vibe.
They are in a bad vibe right now. Bad vibes. Another game, Maryland beats USC. Maryland comes back, blocks a field goal towards the end, and scores a last-minute touchdown.
Yeah.
29-28. USC not having a good time in the Big Ten.
No, they're not. I mean, they were when they beat LSU. Whoa, we beat LSU. And it's been downhill from there.
Super downhill.
Not fun. They've been struggling really hard. But, yeah, Big Ten. We're having some fun.
Yeah, another Big Ten game. Michigan State beats Iowa. Caleb Johnson had a really long run for Iowa. Looked good. It was a pretty close game. But Michigan State, tough football team. And I think they got a big chance to beat Michigan this week. I don't know if I'm going to lock it up yet or not. But moving forward,
It'd be nice to see them win that trophy back
Yeah.
because they haven't and since before Harbaugh was there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, Michigan State on the come up after the drama in the off season and last season with firing the coach and the whole sexual assault allegations and all that. So they've come a long way. 4-3, not doing too bad. All right. That brings us to fucking week 9.
We're here? Are we here now?
We're fucking here.
Oh, wait. Can I dive on one thing?
Yeah, go ahead. Set this up.
Dude, 2 weeks ago, Marshall blowing a... So, Marshall, they were undefeated against the spread. They were favored 1 point versus Georgia Southern. They were leading 23-3 with 7 minutes left. Now, I'm at the LSU game, and I keep checking the scores periodically. And I saw Ohio State and Marshall lose in the most dramatic, horrible ways at an LSU game. And I was like, if LSU loses this game, I'm just going to be sad overall. But luckily, I got the win there so I could forget my L's. But Marshall allowed a safety, then allowed a touchdown. They went fumble, interception in the last 7 minutes. And they blew a 20-point lead with 7 minutes left and lost 24-3.
It can happen. It sounds like a...
I was literally like, I was like watching. I'm like, okay, 23-5, we're okay. And I was like 23-11. I'm like, okay, fine. And then 23-18, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And then it was 24-23. I'm like, how did this happen? You know why? Because Raylan Braxton gets 5 touchdowns against App State the week prior. SBC, Offensive Player of the Week, starts Stone Earl. Stone Earl can't do shit. Puts in Braylon, gets touchdowns. Then tries to make Braylon run. He fumbles twice. Then puts Stone back in. He throws a game-losing interception. I'm like, can you not coach your damn team, Huff, or not? Then this past week, they play well against Georgia State. A.J. Turner had 4 touchdowns. Like, yeah, balled out.
You got to go with a hot hand.
He had 5 touchdowns.
You got to go with a hot hand as a coach.
That's what I'm saying. How do you go with the SGC offensive Player of the Week and then say, we're going to start the other guy?
Yep. All right, moving on to week 9.
We're here.
And we're in the middle of 57 days of straight football with NFL and college football. So Sam Houston beats FIU on their Vice night last night. Louisiana Tech beats UTEP. Yeah, gonna hit
we have some bangers Thursday and Friday, though.
Yeah, we do. Thursday and Friday coming up. Tonight, obviously, Kennesaw State, 0-5, defeats Liberty, who was 5-0. So, put a win on Kennesaw State's record.
How'd this happen?
Yeah, how'd that happen? Jacksonville State beats Middle Tennessee State. Another who cares. But tomorrow, our first game that we're going to talk about here, Syracuse at Pittsburgh. This has big implications for Pittsburgh and the ACC. Pittsburgh undefeated, ranked 19th.
Like
Pittsburgh. Mac Miller's from Pittsburgh. Hey, shout out. Wiz Khalifa. Black and yellow. This is black and blue. All right. But they're giving the fans are picking Pittsburgh at a nice 69.7%. Weather's going to be perfect. 67 degrees. 6:30 p.m. Heinz Field's going to be rocking, dude. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. I could see Syracuse coming away with the win. I'm staying away from this pick 'em wise. -6. I think it's a field goal game. I don't. I think this is where you see the Kyle McCord of Ohio State come out because you're playing good teams in a game of pressure. I think this is where he shows his true colors. Like, this is, yeah, Williams. I think Pitt. Oh, the hate's so real. I think I don't know why. I got a feeling Syracuse wins. I
just don't.
Dude, I know. I got a feeling
Watch
they
the
do.
UNLV game, man. It's like, God, y'all are not playing good ball. Like, yeah, that was not.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Pittsburgh win. If I had to pick it, if I had to bet, I'd say Pittsburgh by a field goal. I'd take Pittsburgh money line, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. I mean, what you just hate Kyle McCord so much. It's funny.
Play under pressure. You could have a pretty girl looking at him in the stands, and he would throw 3 picks because he's got pressure on him. He couldn't stand it. All
right. Well,
this game's a banger.
Speaking of Ohio State,
Whoa.
What?
Whoa. We are skipping Friday night.
Oh, god damn. You know what? I'm not skipping Friday night. Hang on. Yep. Go ahead and bring it up. Boise State.
Look, man.
Boise State at UNLV. This is huge.
We get JT's coming off his bye. We're going to see how much he may or may not slow down. He's playing a tough UNLV defense. I will say they play some pretty good ball. Their front seven's really good. So I think this might be a game that we finally see Genty get slowed down a little bit. But if he puts up 150, 2 touchdowns, he's still sitting really, 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 really nice in that Heisman front runner spot. I think it's going to be good, though. This will probably be the best defense he's faced, in my opinion. I don't think Oregon was really a great defense when they played them. They've definitely played better defense now, but I think this will be the best defense he's faced yet because of how good their front seven is. Now, he may go put up 300 and 4 touchdowns, and I'm just like, all right, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think this is a game that he sees a pretty good defense because I like UNLV's defense. I love what they did versus Syracuse.
Mm-hmm. I like them too.
Also, both one-loss teams in the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Big game.
This is a big game for the Mountain West, big game for Boise State and Ashton Genty's Heisman hopes. So I think the hype train's real for Genty, and I think UNLV is excited to play this Boise State team. I think Boise State is worth this pick here and worth this lock. I'm taking Boise State first lock on a Friday night, so minus 3.5. Give me a touchdown. Give me Boise State by a touchdown. I'm going to lock it in.
I'm taking Boise State half as well.
Yeah, you're going to take Boise State?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like this team is right now. I mean, how much?
Are you locking it?
Yeah, I'm locking it. This is what you want for the 12-team playoff. Like, you want a small school in there, but you want that small school to also have the Heisman frontrunner on there. Why would you not want that? I mean, it just adds more implications to the first year of the 12-team playoff. It would be true college football fashion for the first year to be a absolute phenomenal year. Like that would be what makes this sport so romantic. Is just like it just shows out in its first time. Like I think it's gonna be great. So
you're talking implications.
Implications.
We're talking implications. Now implications here. We were speaking about former Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord.
That's a sick logo, the Boise State one.
Yeah, that is a sick vintage logo. Ohio State's got Nebraska coming to town Saturday morning. I think Ohio State here, Nebraska, just a tough loss to Indiana, just an ass whooping. This is gonna be okay, Ohio State. How much can you whoop Nebraska's ass leading into that Indiana game?
I feel like this needs to be a game they really pour it on, because after the Oregon loss, it's like, all right, you got to show that you are still playing ball. So yeah, I think. But Dylan Raiola, I'm not short on the kid. I think he's gonna be a great ball player. But I think this is a game Ohio State has to come out and put 40 on him.
I agree. Indiana also had him flustered. He looked flustered against Indiana for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think you're right. Minus 25.5. That's a lot of points, though. It is a lot of points. I don't think I would stay away from it.
Yeah, because they'll come off slow. I mean, they'll come off slow against Rutgers sometime, and they'll only got like a 16, 17-point lead sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't try. I mean, I could see like a 42-28 win, kind of. Just barely beating the spread or beating all the folks that vote. Put money on it. So I don't know.
Talking about beating folks.
Beating them bad.
What?
Beating them bad. What? So yeah, but I got Ohio State in this. I think they cruise on to 6-1. Did they have a bye week this past week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Them and Marshall.
Okay, that's right. All right. So moving on.
Marshall's got one this week. They had one last week. I'm sorry.
Moving on. Next game, still 11 a.m. slot. Still Big Ten. Indiana hosting the Huskies. Woo! Woo! The dogs are getting excited in here.
We're on game day. Game day starting off early here.
Are they?
They're game day, so yeah.
Are they college game day?
They're college game day.
Whoa. I mean, that's pretty cool going to Indiana. How many times has college game day been to Indiana?
Hell, I don't know, man. I don't know if they ever have. Unless it was college basketball.
Yeah, no. Minus 6.5 here. We mentioned earlier, quarterback's out.
Yeah, it's definitely the first time. I think I remember seeing that. Yeah, it's the first time.
So, quarterback's out. Curtis Rourke.
Yep.
I'm not sure how long he's out for. We'll have to see there. Taven Jackson starting.
Oh no, it was 2017 they had him. Sorry,
Who would they? Was it Mike? It wasn't
Penix. He wasn't there yet. Penix wasn't there until.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Indiana first hosted College Game Day back in 2017 ahead of a Thursday night game against Ohio State.
Mm.
Ugh.
Okay.
What in the world?
So Taven Jackson's there. Looks like Taven Jackson has come in and played a little bit. He's 7 for 8 for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's got a little bit of. No, wait. No, that says splits. He's 12 for 18, 225 yards, and with a 12.5 average on the season, 3 touchdowns, with a long of 69 yards. So he's not afraid to throw the long bomb. So he's gotten some playing time with Indiana being good.
That's good. And okay, so it's the first time the College Game Day show, like the show itself, has been there on a Saturday. Like the actual show. I don't know what this CBS article's got me reading. It says ESPN Indiana hosted the first College Game Day back in 2017 ahead of a Thursday night game against Ohio State. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't remember ever seeing that. But this will be the first time.
First Saturday at least. Yeah.
I had to get that cleared out of my head because that was a weird quote I read. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
But this game. I mean, Washington's already got that. Washington bit Michigan earlier this year. If this was in Washington, I'd be like, okay, I don't know. Washington's a tough place to play. But Indiana, I'm like, this is where you need it. Like, go 8-0. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I agree. I got Indiana. I'm not locking them in, although I might come back and lock them in if I can't find a fifth lock.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking about still locking them in, even though
I think I see. Oh yeah, there's some weird lines this week.
There are some weird lines this week. There are a lot of points, few and far between.
A lot of points.
Some say too many points. All right, moving on. This next one, Ole Miss hosting Oklahoma. Oklahoma coming off an ass whooping, to say the least, against South Carolina.
Playing at Ole Miss too. It's just like it doesn't end for these guys.
Yeah, -20. -20 here, man, and you might want to bet. I don't know. Oklahoma's looking garbage. Brent Venables fired his offensive coordinator. Not a good look. I mean, does it help? Maybe not. We'll have to see. So it's going to be a different Oklahoma team this week, minus an offensive coordinator. I think I got Ole Miss winning this game. I might even go with the over, but I'm staying away from it.
I was looking at the over. But I'm not going
to. Yeah, I'm staying away from this. I mean, if you're Oklahoma right now, this is just a bad way to start your SEC season, or your first SEC season.
Big Brother is, they're having a really good one up until this last Saturday, but they're playing a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. We're seeing a lot of the teams in this new conference realignment are the teams leading have really been first-year teams, and that's ACC. Well, no, not ACC, but
SMU. I mean, SMU's
sure. Yeah, you can go ACC.
Yeah.
You have ACC with SMU. Big 12, you have a few schools there with like BYU, and then you also have like the Big 10 with Oregon. So it's a little weird this year, and then the SEC as well.
Yep. Yeah. All right, skipping a few games. If you want to talk about any of these games, that's fine. Actually, I'm gonna hone in on Virginia and North Carolina, because I'm gonna lock it in. Because I picked them in my pick'em. I picked them in my pick'em. I'm gonna go with the Virginia Cavaliers to beat the North Carolina Tar Heels, and
why don't I get a who cares button?
And I'm locking it in. I mean,
who cares button?
Who cares?
I just hit who cares and a lock button at the same time. Mac Brown could retire after this game.
If he
loses this game, he could retire. He might retire mid-game at halftime. It could happen. He might just go.
So Mac Brown of him. Though.
I don't care anymore.
So Mac Brown of him.
Yeah. All right. So skipping a couple games, Mississippi State hosting Arkansas. This might be a game Mississippi State could win. They need to hone in on it. I don't think they do, though. I think Arkansas wins. But again, like at this point, I might hit the who cares. Yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares? I hit the who cares on this one too. Do you care?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Big SEC game. No, it's not. No, it's not. App State, Georgia State. No, who cares? This game. All right. This is it, right? This is the big game right here. Where
I feel like you're about to do something silly.
What do you mean silly?
Like you're being facetious.
No, I'm not being facetious. This is a big game for Illinois.
Okay, yeah. No,
Going
this is
to
a real
Oregon.
game.
This is a real game.
So this is one of my locks. I have Illinois to cover that 21.5. I mean, if Michigan State could cover that, like, why couldn't Illinois win ranked? If Michigan State could,
I mean, they can't. And here we're gonna bring up the
Michigan State lost by 21. If they could cover that, no sense in Illinois not being able to cover that ranked 20th.
Yeah, and I am super tempted to lock this in.
I'm locking it in.
Yeah, 21.5. I want to lock it in, but we'll let you lock it in first. And I'm gonna think about. I mean, does Illinois have a chance to win this game? They have a chance. I don't think they do. I think Oregon wins the game.
Yeah.
Oregon's gotta. If they start off slow, though, if it's a slow starter and you get into an Illinois football Brent Bielema battle, running the ball, physical game, anything can happen at that point. I think Oregon wins the game. Number one in the nation. Do we see another number one team get knocked off? You saw Alabama get knocked off. You saw Georgia get knocked off. You saw Texas get knocked off. Do we see another team get knocked off? I don't know. It'd be a crazy season.
Wait, so that's like what? The last 3 or 4 weeks, the last 3 or 5 weeks.
Right. Yeah, it's something crazy. That's what whenever you were doing your update in like college football, like this, I was like, has it been like the
3
last
out of 4 or
3
out of 5
weeks? Number one team's going down, so it's something crazy like that.
So we're not due for one this week, but we are due for one next week if it's
for sure
4 out of 7.
Yeah, but I mean, you locked this in. I locked in. I'm going to switch my North Carolina one. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid.
I don't want to do that.
I hated that.
I don't want to do that. I'm going to lock this one in with you. I have this locked in. Let me pull up my actual picks because I'm regretting doing them in my pick 'em as well. But I'm going to lock it in.
So much right now.
Lock in.
Outside of college football.
Yeah.
Regrets being named Rob.
What you I'm doing just fine. This game, we were talking about the Big 12 earlier. Ooh, I almost replaced you as a guest. Oops. Can't do that. Replace image. Yeah, BYU going to UCF. UCF coming off near loss to Iowa State, undefeated Iowa State. BYU coming into Florida. Do they not know it's already wet down here? They're trying to bring the wetness to Florida. It's humid. We're swimming around in pretty much 100% air. We got water air here.
2 degrees and raining. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but BYU is the underdog.
Yeah.
What's that about?
What is that about?
3 and 4 UCF. Like it's the underdog versus number 11 undefeated BYU. Like what is that?
Yeah. You know what it is? It's a lot.
It's a lock.
I'm locking them in. Are you locking them in too?
Absolutely. Like if this isn't free money, I don't know what is. Like this is free money. Like I don't see how this isn't free money.
What does Vegas know right now? That's what I want to. What do they want? What do they know?
It's always crazy. But I mean, they beat SMU at SMU. That's a big enough win for me to say heck yeah. And then they beat Kansas State handily. That's a big enough win as well. I mean, I'm like I don't.
Yeah. What do you want? And I mean, it's at UCF. Sure.
The 2 teams that are leading, like one team's leading ACC, one team's leading the Big 12. They are responsible for each of their one losses. They really they have some of the best prominent wins because they have 2 top 25 teams as wins, which not a lot of teams can say right now. So because 2 of their wins are in the top 25, and I really don't know who else has that on their resume.
I do like the over too at 55.5. I like the over. I mean, so on my pick'em, it says BYU -1.5, but here I'm seeing them +2 on ESPN right now. I like that. Unless if someone got hurt or some news popped up, I'm locking in BYU.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on that. Like for it not to be.
Yeah. No, I don't know. This is it's a conundrum. Scientists for years have been studying what's going on with Vegas and why they pick how they do.
I wonder how you get a job making these lines in Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you have to know?
Someone was drinking when they made this line. And
This was the intern for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. Alabama hosting Missouri. Alabama coming off another tough loss from the state of Tennessee. Mizzou coming off a comeback.
Okay,
win.
so let's put this in perspective. If Bama loses this game, because if Missouri loses this game, they'll be 6-2, and they'll probably be unranked at 6-2 because they're 6-1 and they are 21.
Yeah.
But if Bama loses this game, they'll be 5-3. Could we see Alabama not be ranked? I mean, I feel like the college football, I feel like they would hold on really hard to keep them in there.
Yeah.
But if Bama lost this game, I feel like we would see Bama unranked for the first time.
Good. Well, then you have to, that Georgia win. Did that Georgia win mean nothing? Doesn't mean nothing.
I don't even know, man.
Who is Alabama?
Well, the Vanderbilt win didn't mean anything for the longest time.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question. If they lose to Missouri,
because if Mizzou loses, they are literally
they're gone. Yeah,
they're gone on the top 25.
Yeah, but Missouri hasn't hasn't had spots where it's been like, okay, this is a top 10 team. Alabama's had spots where it's like, this could be the #1 team. When they beat Georgia, we were all like, holy shit, Ryan Williams. How did he make that catch? How did he do that? They came back.
Him have orange painted fingernails?
No.
Yeah.
After
the Tennessee lost.
Oh, did he have to? He lost a bet?
I don't know. He could have. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe just paint him orange.
A celebration. Was it Tennessee orange?
Yeah.
Oh, he had to have lost a bet. That's losing bets for sure. But anyway, yeah, I got Alabama win this game. I don't like the 16.5 points though. I'm staying away from that for sure. No. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm also staying away from Missouri with plus points because I could see a world where Alabama goes get shit together week. Have a get shit together week.
Yeah, they're playing in BDS, so.
Yeah, I mean, Missouri, you're in trouble. I think Missouri's in trouble this week. However, it's an elimination game for both teams, mainly for Alabama. Alabama, you lose this game, you look bad in this game, it's not going to be good for you.
It's funny. Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. And I think Alabama will win this game, though. I don't see why they wouldn't. But it's kind of funny when you look at Texas and Vanderbilt. Oh, we're talking about Texas and Vanderbilt.
Oh, look at that. We're talking about Texas and Vanderbilt.
you look at ESPN and you see Pavia for a leading passer and rusher for this game. That's kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah, he's the leading passer and rusher for both.
That's insane.
Which I'm like, you're telling me Quentin Ewers doesn't have? Well, he was out for a while. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm riding the Vandy Pavia train.
Why wouldn't you?
And I'm locking in Vandy with the plus 18.5 points.
I was gonna lock in Vandy with the plus 18.5.
Well, we can double lock it in. I mean,
it's our third double lock.
That's fine. Some of these, I got them right here. I got Vandy, Illinois.
No,
BYU.
I'll go the next game.
That's fine. And so I double locked it. You don't want me to lock it? You want to lock this game in. You're going to want to lock it in. You're going to bet it this week on Hard Rock Sports. You know you are.
Yeah, Vandy plus 18.5.
Yeah, there you go. We already locked it in. Now, do you think Vanderbilt comes out with a win?
See,
whoa.
No. Well, whoa. If they do, it'll be some elite stuff.
It would be.
I mean, we would be, because how far would they shoot up in the rankings?
I don't know, but that loss to Georgia State looks terrible. That loss to Georgia State looks god awful.
Marshall just beat them by 15, and you couldn't beat them. What's happening? I mean, no, literally, like that Georgia State loss. Like if Vandy like just goes out and just wins the rest of the year, that Georgia State loss will forever haunt them.
I think Texas wins 35-20, 29. 35-28, 35-29, something like that. Something stupid.
I'm thinking like a 31-25.
31-25. Some weird score.
Stupid.
Something happens, like a safety happens in the middle of the game or something. Yeah, I don't know.
A missed PAT.
Something's going on.
Kicker gets hot or something.
Yeah. I mean, they have been known to have some hot kickers. Vanderbilt. Female kick. They had some female kickers
2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I think it was only 2 years ago.
We went from female kickers
to beating Alabama.
To beating Alabama.
That's right. That's right, baby.
How did this happen? Where are we?
The next game I have. Oh boy. This is
away.
This is gonna be rough.
Put it away.
This is gonna be rough.
Put it away. No one wants this one.
Oh, Florida State at Miami. At Miami. Man. Hey Miami, can you sell out a stadium? Are you allowed to sell out Hard Rock Stadium? Because I haven't seen it yet. But if you do, it's gonna be against your in-state rival that you're gonna, I mean, I don't know.
I think this line is so spot on. 21. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty close. If I would want to buy it down, but also, I see Miami blowing out FSU at this point.
Yeah,
blowing them out.
I mean, but they did play Louisville like super close last week.
Yeah, and we didn't really go over that too much. I kind of skipped over that. I think we got it in the middle of everything. But just the offensive explosion from Louisville they were able to keep up with Miami. FSU does not have any kind of explosivity factor. They're not going to be able to do what Louisville did.
I mean,
to keep up with Miami.
I mean, that's the thing, because Miami has put up the least amount of points that they've put up is 38.
Yeah.
Which is tremendous stuff because that's a 6-score game. So you're telling me the least amount of points scores that you've had is 6 scores, and then you've gotten all the way up to 62. I mean, this team has a great offense. Their defense is questionable, but I mean, they should walk through the rest of their schedule and they should be undefeated.
Yeah, and I think FSU's offensive line not good. Miami's defense is not like the best defense, but like they are good enough to make FSU's offense look terrible. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a beatdown, man. FSU, I feel bad for you coming off that 13-1 season. Now you're 1-6, probably looking at 1-7, 1-8, 1-9. I mean, man, Miami poising itself to be in the college football playoffs. No matter what, maybe they go to the ACC championship, they lose one game. Do you think they're still in the playoffs? They lose one game?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Just one, you're making it.
Yeah, I think so too. So, like if they lost to Clemson in the ACC championship, I think they're in.
Yeah, no, I think that's an automatic bid. Like if you make conference championship,
you're in.
You get in.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, I mean.
Yeah, no, no, you're right. I think you're right. So, yeah, Miami big time. I think this might be my last lock. I'm locking in Miami with the 21.5 with the points.
I will not.
I have not bet against FSU a whole lot this season. It's time to start doing that. It's really time to start doing that for me.
I mean, I always bet against FSU.
I have not, and I'm exercising my right to do so now. All right.
Weird. As someone who this is not my Florida decor. This is his Florida decor, but he really does honestly have a soft spot for FSU most of the time. That he wants them to win when they're not playing the Gators.
I mean, I want them to win too because
at
the end of the season, it makes the Florida State game better. But
I
also
don't care.
But also, like on games like this, or if FSU's doing really, really good, I do want them to lose.
Me last year, I mean, I wanted them to lose every. I bashed them harder anybody else.
Yeah.
I wanted to lose every single week last year. But yeah, like I don't care like about they're our rival, but they're not playing us. Go do good. No, screw that. Die.
Yep. All right. Next game. Speaking of rivalries, Michigan State. I like Michigan State in this one. Michigan has been struggling. Alex Orji cannot pass the ball. Michigan State is going to be hyped up for this game. It's at home. I don't know, Justin. What do you think about this one? Oh no, wait. I got it mixed up. It's at Michigan. So switch that around. It's Michigan State at Michigan. So it's in the big house. I think they'll still be hype. I think Michigan State will still be hype.
That'll be the benefactor right there. Is it's in the big house.
They're underdogs. Michigan State's underdogs. Going into the big house, plus 3.5. I like the plus 3.5. I think they win the game.
Michigan State.
I think Michigan State wins the game.
What time is that?
6:30. It's a night game. Night game in the big house.
Give me Michigan.
Give you Michigan. All right. You want to make that a shot game?
Yeah.
That's a good shot game.
It's a good shot
I
game.
like that shot game. So Michigan State. I'm going with Sparty. Justin's going with Michigan.
Unless you,
we'll see what Joey wants to go with.
Unless you have a different pick for my other log.
I got the game of the week for the last game. Bring up the game of the week. If you know which one's gonna be the game of the week. Yeah. So is there another game you're thinking about for the shot game?
Well, no, because I figured that would have been the game we would defer on. But how this SMU Duke? Who do you have?
SMU Duke.
Yeah.
I'll take SMU on that one.
I'm with SMU too.
Yeah, that's fine. So Michigan State, good shot game. Night in the big house. That'll give me a reason to watch it. I mean, prove me wrong, Michigan. Prove me wrong yet again, because y'all did prove me wrong all last season. All right. Now, the game of the week for the College Football Extravaganza podcast. You coming from Death Valley last week or 2 weeks ago, having a great experience. LSU versus Texas A&M at Texas A&M
At Kyle Field.
at Kyle Field with the 12th man and all. Connor Wegman
Hot stuff right there.
doing a lot better than he was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, man.
Nussmeier also doing way better than he was. He's throwing dimes. Brian Kelly still with his family. I think this should be college game day. I mean, like you were saying, unless they already planned it out, they're going to do the same.
The way I described it earlier, I think it's to a T. Like, what is their mindset? Like, they don't want to oversaturate with SEC. They saw an opportunity to go to a different conference that was actually reasonable in Indiana because they've never been to Indiana. They saw an opportunity like, hey, like, they're hot. Let's get them while we can. And then they said, okay, well, A&M, if we go now, we're probably most likely also going to be going a few weeks from now for Texas. LSU, we're also going to be going back to their place. For Bama, it's like try and get as much as we can because they don't want to go to two places at once. So.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Elko, what he's done with this Texas A&M team already in his first season, I love Mike Elko. I think he's a great head coach. I think LSU's got a great team too. Man, LSU ranked 8, Texas A&M ranked 14, but LSU underdogs at plus 2.5 points right now. Ooh, man, if you're liking LSU, I think you like LSU in this game. I don't know yet, but if you like them, take them with the points there. I don't know. I am gonna go with Texas A&M this game. I think they do have a chance to not play their best football and lose, but if Texas A&M is playing their best football, like they did against Missouri, if the defense is rocking, Kyle Fields rocking, that's a tough environment. And I think I heard 7 of the last 8 games have been won by the home team in this rivalry in this
That's
series,
including the 7 overtime game.
Yeah, including a 7 overtime game. So I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm gonna go with the Aggies for the College Football Extravaganza game of the week. I think I've already used all my locks. If not, we'll throw this one in there and we'll lock that in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going against you right there. Definitely fading you. LSU has some really good wins. They've shaped things up. Their receivers are really good, and Aaron Anderson and Kyron Lacey. The defense is playing. If the way the defense has played the past 2 weeks, if they had this defense last year, they would have won a national championship. And I can't stress that enough. If this defense played with the way Jaden Daniels played ball last year, that was a national championship.
That was the missing element last year. Was the defense?
It's been a missing element forever. But the way that the defense played against Ole Miss, like Trevor. Like, he could not get off this defense. Like, the way that he just loved it. And it's all about weeks. Like, that guy's a stud. And then Zy on the outside, he's played great ball. Yeah, I mean, the way the defense is right now is truly incredible. I think they're going to get the Wegman. And I think if he gets the ball up, the DBs are going to beat him. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a good game for LSU. Texas A&M lost to Notre Dame at home. So, Kyle Field is not really all that.
It was daytime. This is nighttime.
It was not a daytime game.
The Notre Dame game?
No.
I thought it was. No.
It was a night game.
Either way. I think they're a lot better now, though. You get a few more weeks under a new head coach like that. You've developed a little bit more. But I could just be basing it off that Missouri beatdown.
Was game day not at A&M for that game?
I think, yeah, it was. I thought it was.
That's also, so they can't go back to A&M twice. Because they could have gone back 3 times.
Yeah, that's true.
What a year did that be? We got game day at.
Like 3 times, yeah.
3 times at A&M.
Mm-hmm.
What would that have been?
I think Florida had 1 year, maybe there was a few years where.
There's definitely been a few, Ohio State and Bama, like when the schedule lines up right and
Yeah.
the teams are playing good enough ball, like if it's LSU and Auburn playing great ball and then whatever Alabama had at the beginning of the year, it's happened before.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, well, that would have been a fun shot game too. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a fun game regardless.
How many locks am I at? What am I at?
We'll have to count them up. You definitely locked in BYU,
Boise State,
Illinois,
Vandy,
and this one.
Oh yeah, some of 5.
So 5. I locked in BYU. I switched the UVA one. I got Illinois plus 25.5. I got Miami minus 21.5. I got Vandy plus 18.5. And then I think I locked in another one for sure. I might be over.
You got rid of the North Carolina one.
I got rid of the North Carolina one. So if I'm not over, then I'll just put back in the North Carolina one. And then we definitely got to add these locks up so we can get back to keeping track of them.
God, dude, we're like so off schedule.
We're so off schedule. It sucks. But we're getting back onto it, getting back on schedule. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for hopping in the comments. And we'll see you next week. Maybe Monday, get back to our normal schedule. I don't know if you're...
Yeah, Monday be solid.
Monday would be, yeah. We're trying to aim for Mondays at 6:30, but it just has not been working out. So our backup plan is Wednesdays. So it's not bad.
Wednesdays are okay.
Not a bad backup.
The lines are better for Wednesdays.
Lines are better. Lines are definitely better. Joey was complaining about that. Went 1-5 on a, or like went 0-5 on a
Joey hasn't
Monday.
done a Wednesday pod all year. So.
Yeah, but he has been locking in the pick'ems. So anytime we don't do these, I'm just using those as his locks. So we have a record there, and I think we only missed 1 week with you. So I think we're pretty much on schedule. We pretty much got it. But all right, that does it for us. Thank you guys again. See you next week. Go Gators. Go Herd. Go Herd. Peace out.